Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my Sephora review. This time I'll be focusing on women's perfume. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts on Sephora's men cologne, check out the video I posted yesterday where I rate every cologne. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, Extreme. This had a nice coffee note, but unfortunately this disappears as it dries down. Still my favorite out of the three. Number 2, Le Parfum. This was a very nice vanilla fragrance, but after we smelled it, my husband took the words out of my mouth. He was like, but where's that eyelash at? And number 3, Illicit Green. This smelled similar to the others, but a slight fruit twist. Still in the category of YSL, we have Mon Prairie. Number 1 is Lumiere. This has a clean soapy smell. And number 2, both Mon Prairie's. They smell the same, so if you prefer floral, I would say skip the original and get the intense mint. Don't get me wrong, I like florals, but there are so many florals out there and Lumiere just gives you something a little bit different. There's not much difference between Voce Viva and the Intense. The smell is okay, but a bit too mature for my taste. I mentioned in the Sephora men's cologne review that I tried these last year and didn't like them. But just like the men's version shocking me, same with these. Number 1, Coral. The kiwi note is really nice. Number 2, Yellow Dream. It's so weird. Last year, I remember this gave me such a bad impression that I completely stayed away from Valentino. I wonder if it's something that changed or maybe it's just me. Comment below if this has ever happened to you. And number 3, Roma. This was okay, but again, like the cologne version, the other two outshine this one. Guys, have you tried Versace Eros for Women? I love this fragrance and received so many compliments. The citrus, fruit, florals, musk, wood, and patchouli just all blend together perfectly. This smells luxurious. It's soft yet noticeable and not offensive. This is perfect for events, going on a date, or even around the office. Definitely don't skip this one. In general, all the Versace smell great, but just go try Eros, trust me. Now for Tom Ford. This was the only selection that they had, so out of these, number 1, Ombre Leather. Shout out to the store associate. He was so nice, but he took the words straight out of my mouth. You would think that you wouldn't want to smell like a car seat, but my goodness, this smells nice. Keep in mind, all these are unisex, but this one could be worn alone or layered to create a perfect masterpiece. This is definitely a head turner. Number 2, Velvet Orchid. I can't put my finger on this one, but it reminds me of church. Does anyone know what I mean? No? Just me? Okay. Number 3, Black Orchid. This is another that me and the store associate was discussing. This really projects, so if you purchase this, lightly spray and make sure you really love it. Number 4 goes to Solal Blanc. To be honest, I wasn't really a fan. I'm going to be honest, I always see Marc Jacobs in TJ Maxx, Ross, and Burlington, so I was just going to skip the whole section altogether. But I hate blind buying. It's why you will always hear me suggest to at least try it yourself. I don't hear many people talk about their perfumes, so before I could walk away, my husband sprayed it and put it up to my nose, and this line is great. Hands down, number 1, Perfect Intense. This is a great floral with an almond twist. Number 2, EDT. Very crisp, but kind of forgettable. And number 3, EDP, which I wasn't a fan of. To be honest, I'd skip the other two and just go straight for the Perfect Intense. Sephora also has Daisy, and again, completely underestimated this line. Number 1, So Intense. This is a warm, sweet, fruity fragrance. The honey shines through and it is perfectly paired with a tart strawberry note. Number 2, Daisy EDT. Light and crisp. Number 3, Paradise. Number 4, So Fresh Paradise. And number 5, Love Paradise. I'd skip this one. The Daisy Paradise perfumes are okay, it's just that it reminds me of body mist sprays, so unfortunately, I don't think they are worth the price. At this point, floral was just taking over the whole area, so I'll just say all of these were nice, but Daisy Dream stuck out to me the most. This was blackberry, pear, coconut water, and musk. It's just a nice clean floral smell that made the other ones next to it forgettable. I went over Ralph Lauren Romance in my Ulta video, so let's skip on over to Polo Earth. My husband got to this one before me and immediately yelled out,
Earth, wind, water,
And he did this for a reason. The top notes are very strong. To me, it smells like citrus, grass, and wood. Too much of this might come off offensive to some. It was something that was interesting to smell, but I'd personally skip it. Sorry, Captain Planet. Ralph by Ralph Lauren smells just like an apple body mist. So for that price, meh. This one is completely my fault. I finally found Prada Candy Night. People hype this up so much about it smelling like chocolate, and I'm always on the hunt for something that smells like chocolate or coffee. Feel free to recommend in the comment section if you know any. So maybe the hype got to me because this disappointment was a low blow. So number 1, Candy. Number 2, Candy Night. Number 3, Candy Kiss. To be honest, I just skip all 3. I'm not too crazy about Gucci fragrances, but Gardenia is okay, so I'll give that number 1. And number 2, Jasmine. Sorry, but I say skip this one. It reminded me of air freshener. And out of these 3, they are on the mature smelling side. I'm guessing because the white florals. Number 1, Ambrosia. That's the red bottle, by the way. I've never smelled a perfume like this. When I read the notes, it didn't make sense. I didn't get rose at all. This smelled of different spices, something else that I couldn't put my finger on as well. I definitely give it a second try. Number 2, I'd go with Perfumo. This is a floral with a sharp twist. And number 3, Bloom. I'd skip this one altogether. Can't go wrong with Dolce & Gabbana. This is the first I've smelled the one in L'Imperatrice. But hands down, number 1 is the only one. Nice sultry scent. Number 2, L'Imperatrice. A friend of mine told me about this. You can definitely smell the watermelon. This is another fruity floral fragrance, but the watermelon makes it stand out versus the others. Number 3, the one. Great scent, but it doesn't beat the other 2. C was okay. Again, another floral. It's nice, but nothing really stood out or wowed me. So with this being said, number 1, EDP, number 2, Eclat, and number 3, Passion. There are so many replica fragrances and candles, so I decided to narrow it down to the top 3. Maybe later in the future, I'll decide to do a separate video of just replica fragrances. Anywho, number 1, By the Fireplace. I love the smokiness to this. Number 2, Coffee Break. This smells like coffee with plenty of creamer. And number 3, Beach Vibes. Imagine slight tropical beach scent without the salty air note. Last but not least, I had to stop at Sol de Janeiro, and look how big this bottle is. They need to make a big bottle of number 71 just like this. I actually regret not getting this bottle. Number 71 and 62 is my favorite. Comment below which one is yours. If you've made it this far, thanks for tuning in. I post videos every day, so don't forget to hit the notification bell and like and subscribe.